Welcome to Creating Presentations, the first of two modules within the presentation module. The objective of this is to give you the knowledge, skills and behaviours to allow you to create a professional presentation. And within this, we're going to have a look at what the intent is, how you can develop your structure and design, and software packages that may be of value. In your life, you are going to be asked to do a presentation, whether that be a formal presentation, such as to work colleagues or senior leadership team, or informally, maybe at a wedding or a family gathering. Either way, you're going to need to develop the skills to be able to demonstrate a presentation confidently, effectively and professionally. You want to be able to influence how others view you and how they act. You want to be able to get your point across in a structured and interesting manner, and this is paramount to your success. Often, if you're asked to create and deliver a presentation, the exact intention is unclear. By examining what the intent would be, you will then know why you're being asked to do this presentation and then can develop the right content. For example, are you being asked to explain a report or inform an individual? Are you being asked to review and encourage progress, or debate so that your department can make a decision? Once you've identified the reason for the presentation, you can then formalise your presentation objectives. Write up to 5 bullet points summarising what the objectives are, what you want to ensure that your audience achieves by the end of it. Ask the person that requested you to do the presentation to confirm that these are accurate, so that way you can then design the right presentation. Your next consideration is your audience. Who are they? What is their role? Maybe their status, the size of the group, their professional backgrounds, where are they coming from? Are they international, local? What's their prior knowledge? How much time do they have available? You want to know why they're in the audience. What do they value? What do they want? And what are they expecting? Do you need an introduction, or do you need to provide a very detailed exploration of something? What do you also want your audience to do? Do you want to change their mind, make them buy or sell something, act in a different way? You could also consider their prior knowledge. You could ask your audience before the meeting. You could ask the audience at the beginning of the presentation. But if this isn't possible, assume no knowledge and create your presentation in this manner. Now that you've identified the objectives, you can start to pull together a general structure of your presentation. The following will give you some ideas. You will have an open, a hook to grab their attention, an introduction with the objectives and the agenda, then the main body of your information. You'll provide a summary and catchy close, and then thank your audience and ask questions. The open is your introduction. You're saying good morning or good afternoon, what your name is, where you're from, and what you're here to talk about. The hook is to grab their attention. The way to do this is either by a question or a shock statement. So for example, you could ask, let me ask you a question by a show of hands. How many people in this room believe? Or you can identify a shock statement that would grab their attention. The easiest way of identifying what this area could be is by considering what's the most amazing or curious, remarkable, shocking, funny or exciting element to your topic, and let this be the focus of your hook. You'll then create a 30-second message, and this is explaining the purpose of what you're here for. E.g., I'm going to talk to you today about. You might then want to pause, and then you might want to add, I want to persuade you to. And then you can carry on with your audience now that they're clear on what your focus is. The main part of your presentation is the story. You're going to summarise in a couple of short sentences what you'll be answering, and within this you want to invoke an emotion. Do you want them to be shocked? Do you want them to take responsibility? Do you want them to be inspired? And like all good stories, it will have a beginning, a middle and an end. And then you'll leave with giving them something to consider. Your close needs to be memorable. So for example, it could be a great quote, a powerful image. You could give them a challenge or ask them a question. And then you're going to thank your audience and ask them for their questions. When considering your design, the first thing is the background and the writing. Is it advised that you do a dark background with contrasting text? White backgrounds tend to create quite a strong light on the screen and can cause reading difficulties for some of your audience. The layout itself should be single line text at the top, so you do not want to be having 2 or 3 lines for a title. Ensure your text doesn't go to the very edge of each slide, and the images don't distract from the message in your text. The text itself should have the same formatting all the way through and should be easy read. For example, Arial. Generally, they say a maximum of 6 to 8 lines per slide and 1 subject or line of thought per slide. The writing should be only up to 3 different sizes, so for example size 30, 28 and 24. Text within the body should all be the same colour. Avoid red, yellow and green together, as some of your audience may have difficulty differentiating between these colours due to colour blindness. Bullet points are a great way of making brief and concise points across. So you probably want a maximum of 8 words per bullet point. Be mindful of any animation or transition you're using, because this can actually start to waver your audience's attention with you. It can create a distraction and can frustrate your audience. With pictures, make sure that they are equivalent of like a JPEG file and not of a huge size, so that your excessive size of the file won't slow down your presentation. Charts and graphs. Each slide should have 1 chart or graph on it. Make sure your colours contrast with the background and that text can easily be seen and read. There's numerous free software packages available for you to be able to customise your presentation. Each software package should allow you to create and edit your slides, animate them and embed images, videos, audio or text. And these are some of the suggested software packages that you might want to explore. Visual aids are going to add interest and maybe support the explanation and hopefully be memorable and prompt you as a presenter. They want to be readable, relevant and well organised. When considering images to use, there are a couple of things just to make sure that you have considered when adding your images. For example, are they clear or are they blurry? Are they distracting, such as with a swirly background? Are they the right size and not overly cropped? Does it add value? Has the writing and the image both got meaning and relate directly together? Are the images cited for copyright? And an unusual point that many people forget, if you're adding people or animals, make sure that they look into your slide and not away from your slide. Graphs are a great way for you to demonstrate any trends, provide comparisons, or summarise any complex data. Each chart or graph should take a slide in its own right. There are numerous types available, but they have to be well labelled, and there is a couple of links here that will help you make sure that your labelling is accurate. Flip charts are frequently used in presentations, and these can be great for having pre-prepared notes on them, a way of recording points that as they get raised, or noting questions. In large audiences, they're very helpful for breakout sessions to collect ideas of small groups, but there's just a couple of things you need to be mindful of. Their size and their height will limit who can see them. They can act as a trip hazard, and when you're using them, you will have your back to the audience. Audience participation is going to allow you to ensure that you've got an engaged audience and you're collating their views as you go. There are a number of ways you can do this, but there are some online tools that allow you to do voting systems and that then reveal the results as graphs or words. These are great to use, many of them are free. They use the mobile phone, the tablet or the PC that the individual is working from. And it allows your participants to engage with you without speaking out, as many of them are actually worried about speaking out in front of a group. Here's just 4 of the many types of software that are out there that you might want to explore. Handouts can be particularly important to your audience if you want them to take notes on them at a later date, etc. Your information needs to be clear, well formatted, checked for grammar and spelling. One of the things that people often are unsure about, though, is when to actually provide their handout. So consider what you want your handout to do. Is it providing background information? Is it a copy of the slides? Or is it summarising? If it's background information, you will want to send this out potentially a couple of days before. If it's a copy of the slides, you may want to hand them out at the beginning. But if it's summarising, you may want to hand this out at the end. Consider using PDFs to save in the environment. It also ensures that your message cannot be changed rather than emailing a Word document. Got a couple of extras here that would help you. A couple of links that will allow you to explore how else you could structure or write your presentation. We've gone through that now, the knowledge, skills and behaviours you would need to create a professional presentation. If you are a student, member of staff or alumni of University Centre Peterborough and have any questions, please email employerhub@peterborough.ac.uk. Good luck with creating your presentation.